Hey, welcome to another Meet the Candidates interview. And today we are talking to George Barks, who is running for the 66th California Assembly District, which covers the South Bay of the Los Angeles area. How are you doing, George?
Very well, Dennis. Extremely well, as a matter of fact. I'm very excited to be in this campaign.
Excellent. Well, I mean, the area that you are running in is very near and dear to my heart because I also happen to be a resident of the South Bay. And let's start with, the basic background question here. Why are you running for office?
Well, I'm running for office, Dennis, because we have a Democratic supermajority. It's a one-party state in the state of California uh, that includes the Assembly District, the Senate District, as you know, the governor, and what those laws that they're adopting, those policies, I don't think represent the majority of the residents in the South Bay cities. And I'm not happy with them because of what they're doing to us. High gas prices, high crime, uh, and they just want to chip away on so many things like the Proposition 13, the tax initiative that was approved by the voters. Um, they're just a tax and spend party. And so that concerned me a lot. And I said, you know what? I'm going to throw my hat in the ring.
Yeah, there you
And,
go.
and
Well, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go
well,
ahead.
as you know, because you live in the South Bay district here, in the last what 10 years, only one Republican has ever defeated my opponent, Al Meritsuchi, and defeated him by only 706 votes. Okay, and when he ran for re-election in 2016, that was 2014, he lost to Mr. Meritsuchi. And so Mr. Meritsuchi has been our assemblyman for 8 years now. And I don't believe, because he's in lockstep, with the one party state in California, and he's failed to really represent the residents of this district.
Okay. Well, now I've looked a little bit into your background and for background qualifications, and you have been active in South Bay politics for a very long time. Tell us a little bit about that and how you feel that plays into what makes you an ideal person to take over this office.
Okay. I was elected to the Hermosa Beach City Council in 1974 and got reelected two more times. And I served the city of Hermosa Beach for 12 years. Three times I was mayor, because they rotate the mayor's chair. That was 1975, 80, and 85. And I have a history of bringing people together, creating bipartisanship coalitions, listening to both sides of an issue, and trying and been very successful in reaching compromises on issues that really benefit the residents. As it now stands here, the current situation, we don't have any bipartisanship cooperation. So I have that history background as a Hermosa Beach city councilman, and I've lived in the South Bay all my life. I currently live in Redondo Beach. I'm a businessman in Hermosa and Redondo, so I'm very familiar with the South Bay cities. Lived here all my life, and my kids were born and raised here as well.
Excellent. Well, you know what? You were actually mayor of Hermosa Beach when I lived there in the 1980s.
Oh,
Yeah, well, yeah, it was a Pier and Ardmore. That little corner of town over there, right at the top of the hill before you go down to the beach.
yeah, that
Anyway,
100 unit condominium complex, right?
yes, you know it well. Yeah, there you go. You know your South Bay, sir. Yeah, and so what's your motivation now? What do you hope to achieve if you get in the California State Assembly?
Well, my first order of action when I get elected will be to form a coalition of legislators and work with them, because they've tried this like 6 months, a year ago, to waive the gas tax, the California gas tax, for 1 year. Now that people are suffering with, the current inflation, post-pandemic, it's really hurting them. And this one-party state in Sacramento, they can't make up their mind what to do with this gas tax. They have $101 billion reserve. Okay, so I don't want to bring that reserve down to zero, but we can use money from that reserve. And also, I want to reallocate this, this bullet train. I forget what they call it exactly, that they've spent $4 billion right now. I want to reallocate those funds for more water storage, for example, to deal with the water issue. And, and also I want to increase funding for police and fire and more training for policemen to deal with these domestic issues. I'm totally opposed to defunding, because, our crime, as you know, throughout the South Bay and the state, the crime, is going up because we have all these soft on crime district attorneys, and I signed the petition to recall our current DA in Los Angeles County, George Gascon. I mean, look what's happening with him. I mean, even his staff, was in favor of the, of the recall. Now, I know that's something. Back on, my phone rang, so I just turned it off.
No problem. Keep
So,
going.
Okay, now I know that's not an issue that Assemblyman deals with, but what's important here, it shows our philosophy between myself and Mr. Maritsucci, okay? Because he didn't sign, but the petition to recall George Gascon, our district attorney, but I did. So I want the voters to know that our philosophies are different with regards to that issue. And I think that's important. I believe that we can waive this gas tax. We can increase funding also for schools. The teacher salaries need to be increased, for example. And look, this whole water issue, we need to increase the storage. We can do all this without raising taxes by resetting the priorities and reallocating these funds. And also, I also want to, I'm in support of alternative energy, but I want to look at it all, wind, solar, and nuclear. I believe that in the future, we need more nuclear power plants. Even our governor has reactivated the Diablo Canyon power plant because we don't have enough electricity here during the peak, periods of when air conditioning is on. We have these blackouts. And I know that, my opponent is really into the green movement, and the green movement is opposed to, nuclear power. But in Europe, most countries have nuclear power. And with today's technology, it's very safe. And I'm also in favor of transitioning into the future with electric automobiles. I'm not so sure that 2035 we can do it. We'll have to wait and see. That's controversial. And my opponents, my opponent and the Democrats say, "Whoa, nuclear energy isn't safe. It's too toxic." But look, these electric cars currently that are out here, the batteries, for example, how expensive they are to replace, and they're very toxic to recycle those batteries. So I think it's time for a change, Dennis. You know what? We keep re-electing the same people and expect a new result, and it's not happening.
I get it. And so very clearly, with just what you just espoused here, you clearly are thinking about issues that are that go beyond just the South Bay, but really do impact the entire status of the state of California across the entire state, which is what California State Assemblyman would eventually wind up having to work with. And you have some very clear ideas about that. So what's your message to the people that might be hesitant to vote for you because they're traditional Democrats or whatever? And what's your message to them about why they should consider you to be the candidate that they vote for in November?
Well, if they are happy, if the voters are happy with the state of the situation here in this district and the state of California, they're happy with this one-party state, then they should vote for my opponent, Mr. Maritsuchi. But if they want real change, common sense, pragmatic, realistic, no longer pie in the sky programs, then they should vote for George Barks, because he has the background, the experience, and the and has proven that he can affect realistic change.
There you go. Well,
they need to go to my website and see where.
Yeah. And so where is that website? Because this is your 60-second pitch. Where do people find out more about George Barks?
Okay, they go to www.voteforgeorgebarks.com.
There you go.
Okay.
Well, all right. Yes, sir.
You can also contact me via telephone and email. Should I give them my email too now or not?
Sure, of course.
Vote the number for georgebarks@gmail.com. They can call me at area code 424-271-5529.
Well, there is an accessible candidate right there, and with a lot of ideas and a history of bipartisanship in the South Bay area. I thank you very much, sir, for taking the time to talk to me today and sharing your thoughts with the people that will see this video.
Well, thank you so much, Dennis. I really want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to reach out, to the voters, and so they can learn more about me. Thank you so much.
There you go.